Hey everyone, These Are My Friends. My name's Gabriel. This is a podcast where I talk to friends and family and learn which artists, which albums, which songs, which periods in music were defining to their lives, to their self-identity, and how that formed who they were as a music fan. Today I'm talking to my friend Christy. Christy and I used to work together, and she was one of the coworkers who I bonded with pretty quickly over love of music, love of sort of expressive artwork in general. And she has a lot of really good memories about early artists who she heard in her rural community that gave her a sense that there was something over the hill, so to speak, and that there was a world beyond where she was at the time. So let's dive right into it.
Oh my God, there's so many.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
How far back do I go?
So like I thought like the easy, I guess like easy answer with you was going to be like we were just going to talk about Tom Petty the whole time.
I could talk about Tom Petty the whole time.
Which I'm totally into. But also, like this one friend that I talked to the other day, like he's not like a giant like music nerd. He like loves and appreciates music, but he like enjoys music specifically for like the emotional content of it, less like he doesn't like track artists in the way that I might track artists, or that like, you know, like stick with a particular one.
No, I'm definitely like that. I mean, I think when I listen to music, it's because it gives me some type of feeling. And I typically, like Tom Petty is a perfect example of like a storyteller. So
yeah,
the stories that he tells, I can relate to, you know? Like,
yeah.
So
what was like your pivotal Tom Petty moment?
Let's see. Well, so I really started listening to him when I was, I think, probably like 18. I started waiting tables up in Wilmington, and we had, you know, those soundtracks that would be on a loop all day in the background, and Tom Petty's songs just happened to come on like all the time. And I was like, and I didn't really know about him too much, but I would hear a song and be like, who is that? And people would say, it's Tom Petty. And I'd be like, oh, of course it's Tom Petty. I love Tom Petty. So I started listening to him or knowing of him when I was 18. And then at the end of our shift, we would always go to a place called the Village Pub, and it had a jukebox. Yeah, Village. We call it the Village Pube, because really that's nice. Appropriate. And so there was a jukebox, and so we would go in, and I would, back when you could use a quarter, plunk in a couple quarters, and the first song I would play is American Girl, and then I would play Mary Jane's Last Dance.
Yeah.
And the reason, I know those are very basic songs of his, but the reason I think I liked them is because they talked about a girl getting out, like escaping.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't want to wait tables. I didn't want to live in this small podunk town anymore. And it was all about like, you know, what's the line? It's like, still so far out of reach. Like everything's far out of reach. It's like so close, but so far out of reach. And you can't escape it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the, all right. So you said, you called like American Girl and Mary Jane's Last Dance. Would you say like they're sort of like easy Tom Petty songs or something like that? Like they're known.
Everybody knows it. They're like, yeah.
So I don't know if we'll talk about this, but I feel very strongly that I feel like this actually about a few artists who are who are just like on repeat on classic rock radio. Like everyone knows their singles and stuff like that. And I think sort of because of that, they're not taken as seriously as they should be as like American songwriters.
Totally.
And I think even like Bruce Springsteen like falls into that.
Yep.
A little bit too. And it's similar, Bruce Springsteen has similar, like, it's cool that you bring up that those songs were about, like, a woman getting out, and Bruce Springsteen is so much about, like, himself, or like a male character getting out, or like himself and a woman getting out together.
Right. But Tom Petty, he does a lot of stuff that's girl focused. And I think part of that is that he used to write songs for Stevie Nicks.
Oh.
Yes.
I didn't know
that. And they partnered several times. And I think she was called the honorary heartbreaker because, So I think that's possibly it. He just wrote a lot from a female's perspective.
Yeah, now I gotta, after we talk, now I gotta do like a like deep dive on Tom Petty. And the thing is like, I'm like a music first, lyrics second person. And that's just the way, like, that's just the way I hear things.
Yep.
And like an artist could be saying gibberish and I would like still enjoy it if like their voice, if like their singing voice matched a certain melody that I like.
You're a musician too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like every musician I've known has said that to me. Like, I come at it from the music side of it and not from the lyrics as much. I don't know.
And
I don't know.
And like with Tom Petty, like American Girl, I think is a great example of his, I mean, the Heartbreakers especially are like, they seem super simple musically,
right.
But like those first, like that first like jangly intro to American Girl is like, it's like and like the song like gets so intense and like swells so much like towards the end, it just all kind of like snowballs into this like great like super warm feeling.
Yeah, it gives you a feeling. I mean, for sure. That is this kind of song where you like roll down your windows in the summer and just like blare it out,
Yeah. And there are other songs of his like that I think lead in with like I know exactly how I'm going to feel listening to this song because the like signature is like right out of the gate. Like
now I want to look at like my list of Tom Petty songs, but
I mean, yeah, do it. Totally into it. I'm trying to think of, like, there was probably a year, it was pretty recently too, it was probably like 2017 or 2018, I was listening to Into the Great Wide Open.
Oh yeah.
The whole album, like, quite a bit, which is like, which was what, like in the 90s or something like that?
I think it was in the 90s, yeah. Or like very early 2000s. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a song on there, For All the Wrong Reasons. Oh, it starts with like, here, I'll play it real quick.
Yeah, play it. I bet I know it.
But it's got like the same sort of,
like that same lead in kind of where you get a feeling immediately. Like yes. Oh yeah, all these songs. Oh my god, I love them so much. Ooh.
And there's also like unbelievable harmonies in it too.
The harmonies are amazing. Yeah. So if you listen, maybe we could listen to some of the Stevie Nicks stuff that he does with her.
Absolutely.
And also the Traveling Wilburys.
Yes.
Which was my very first cassette tape. Traveling Wilburys.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like here.
Oh, I know this song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And It does have something sort of similar to American Girl, where like when the drums hit, it sounds like somebody's like kicking something open
Yes.
and like
and
announcing themselves.
Yeah, and a good drum beat, like downbeat. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm in it. I love that. I wish when I had started playing instruments that I had thought, I really think I would have been a good like drummer, because it's my favorite part. I mean, like, whew. Yeah, it'll knock you right out.
Have you known any? I'm always very jealous of drummers because it's like a lot of physical coordination that I don't think I'm capable of.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. Actually,
like I can't dribble a basketball with my left hand.
Okay.
Like I'm that sort of like dominant on one side that I don't think it would.
Yeah, no,
work.
I mean, I see that too, and I don't know if I could do it. I mean, I know I have known several drummers in the past, because when I was in high school and through most of my early years, I dated musicians because I thought they were cute, and so I knew a lot of drummers.
It's not like the worst artists to start dating.
It's not the worst. There are much worse ones. Actors are terrible. Don't do that. Ugh. But yeah, and I the one that actually my ex-fiance's drummer, he was, I don't know, he was great. He just was like super powerful. But then what's funny is I remember Aaron, my ex-fiance, told me that he played with a click.
A click track,
a click track, because he was like, he cannot stay on beat.
Huh?
Isn't that funny? But once he had it, he was like,
yeah,
I don't know. So
what was like, other than like starting to play his songs on the jukebox? And by the way, have you seen those like new, I don't know what it's like, it's called something branded, but they're like supposed to be jukeboxes, but it's just like I think you can like tap your card and basically just like go on Spotify on the thing
you know what, where I think they have one actually, which I have not brought you to yet, is the Reedsboro Inn.
Do they really?
Yeah. Yep.
I know. I saw one at the Mexican place in Keene. But I think on principle of like the weird things that I like have unnecessary principled stances about, I think I'm gonna refuse to use it.
Yeah.
Because it's.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I like an old school jukebox.
Yeah.
I like the ones, I mean, God, I don't even know if anywhere that has them anywhere, but that literally would like select the record.
The 45, yeah.
Or the 45 and like plunk it down.
Yeah.
That's an experience.
Yeah.
It's like listening to vinyl versus listening to whatever, or having a physical album in your hand where you can look at the artwork.
Right.
Or listening to something on, Spotify.
Or I want to hear what the people in the restaurant are listening to, and it's like playing off of their phone or something like that. Or, like I want to, like Kipling. Have you been to Kipling's much? Since the new owners took it over?
I was just there a couple nights ago, actually, yeah.
They have like impeccable playlist selection.
I feel like I really do feel like I was noticing that.
Yeah.
What were they? I mean, yeah.
Well, they play like a lot of they play like a lot of like early 90s stuff, like not like a lot of like 90s like power poppy kind of stuff, and like maybe some like earlier grunge and just and like maybe some like new wave stuff from the 80s, and it's just all, and it's like it seems like very well. And it could totally be just like playing through like the owners like songs or something like that. But it's perfect.
Yeah.
But I don't want to hear some like random dude who's at the restaurant just like pick a song from like the internet. That's probably going to be.
I hear you.
I mean, maybe that's just like not very kind to.
I don't know, but I see what you're saying. It's like it's authentic, right? When you I don't know.
And like the cool thing about the cool thing about like those old jukeboxes is that everyone had like the same like 50 songs that they could pick from.
Totally. Yes. Right.
And,
yep.
And like if you went to the same place enough, you would be like, you know, you could sort of like anticipate what somebody might play next because you knew.
Oh, totally. I mean, I definitely, when me and my girls walked in after the restaurant, they knew what we were gonna we were gonna start playing.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
So after like hearing his songs, playing the songs on the jukebox, like you've seen him multiple times, right?
I have, yeah. And I saw him like the summer before he died.
Oh wow.
At Fenway, yeah.
How did it
not to
feel?
bring it down, but
how did it feel just being a fan, and then like seeing him live for the first time? And
I tend to be one of those cheesy people who, when I see the star come out, this happened to me with like Dolly Parton and several. I do start to cry a little. I hate it about myself. It's so embarrassing, but I'm just like, you know, it's like this moment. Like, it's I mean, you don't know this person, but their music has been in your ear your whole life. They're kind of part of your skin, you know, and then to see their actual person in real life is a big deal. Like, and, you know, because also you don't, you know, that was one of the things we started to do after Prince died. We were like, how did we not see Prince? He was 57. Like, Jesus, we missed Prince. And so my friends and I got together and we started to do the See 'Em Before They Die tour. So we
that's a great idea.
Yeah. And turns out we saw Aretha Franklin right before she died. We saw, you know, Tom Petty right before he died.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
What was the criteria for that? Like an artist of a certain age?
Well, I mean, yeah, in a way. We just had to really like them and be like, I don't know if they're going to make it.
Yeah.
No offense. Aretha would probably laugh at this, but, you know, she wasn't in the best health.
No.
But, you know, so I don't know. I think it was just like old school. Like who have you always wanted to see who you've never seen? Like Stevie Wonder, you know, like somebody that has that gravitas.
Yeah.
And if they died, you would be kind of heartbroken that you didn't see them in real life.
Right.
That was the criteria.
Sometimes I feel that way about Bruce Springsteen. But like I know he plays one, like a lot of the E Street Band isn't there anymore. Like a lot of the E Street Band has died.
Yep.
I know they play like noticeably slower now because they're older.
Yeah.
And
I mean, he's, you know, no spring chicken.
Yeah. And like I don't know if it would just be sort of like a sunk cost to see him and like not feel
like
grateful about that.
Have you seen him before or no? No, you haven't. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like I hadn't seen Aretha before, and I'm sure she was not. You know, I think her band played a lot of music when she went in the back, and I don't know what she was doing. She probably, recuperating or whatever. But it was still like, even though I know she wasn't at the top of her game, for her to like burst down on the stage with like a mink around her shoulders and sing "Respect."
Yeah,
like, come on.
I know.
So I think it's worth it. You know, even if they're not in their prime. The problem is then they're really expensive too sometimes. Like if you want to go see, you know, a big name person, then it's prohibitively expensive. So that's kind of a drag.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily want to like sit far back in an arena or something like that and like look at a Jumbotron screen.
Right. No,
when I could just like watch a live set.
Exactly. No, it really makes a huge difference to be close. And you know, I have a friend, Damaris, who has taken me to all these like big concerts with music that I'm like fine with, but the spectacle of the concert is crazy. So we went to see Beyonce and Jay-Z. Yeah, and we were like I could have reached out and touched Jay-Z.
Oh,
I mean,
dang.
Literally, I don't know how much he spent on these tickets, but I'm like not wildly into Beyonce, but I was like, wow. Shit, this is a performance. Yeah. You know, so I like being close, and being far away in an arena is kind of a drag.
Well, I don't know why this has happened to me more recently. when I saw concerts when I was younger, I didn't really have this effect, but I've noticed now that seeing an artist, especially like an artist that I'm really, really, that I like feel committed to in a certain way.
Yep.
Like, it's like crazy to realize that they're 3D, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
That they're like yeah,
like a
they're
full
like
human?
They're not right. That they're not just like me watching them perform on YouTube or like listening to them.
Yeah. And they're like, up there sweating and
Right.
I mean, it's really neat.
Yeah. And so did you have like that effect when you first saw Tom Petty that you were like, oh my God, he's like a real...
Yeah. I mean, I definitely did. I wanted to, like, I studied him, when you think, I mean, he's not the prettiest boy in the room or anything, but I just, like, there's something, I just was like, oh my God, there he is, this, weird looking dude that I've been listening to my entire life. Yeah, it was a big deal. It was a big deal.
Yeah. And he's, he seemed like such a interesting guy too. I think because like of all the like sort of Americana artists that were around then, I think I've been like captured by the fact that him and the Heartbreakers are from like North Florida, and it seems like a very unusual origin.
Totally, they're from Gainesville.
Yeah. But then also he seemed like such a sedate, like undramatic person.
Yeah, super down to earth. I mean, if you hear him in interviews or hear his voice, I mean, he's just like, like a little Bob Dylan-y kind of voice. But also I think had like, it was super chill, but had a good sense of humor. And I don't know, there's something important to me in the lyrics of music where if there's some humor in it, I really appreciate that.
What stands out for you?
For Tom Petty,
or in general, I guess.
Just in general, I don't know. Like when I think about Prince, for example, I think he must have been hilariously funny. Because you think about what is the song? Cream, I think. I don't know. I mean, it's some funny lyrics. The one that's like, move your big ass round so I can work on that zipper, baby. That one. Tonight you're a star and I'm the Big Dipper. Dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun. That is hilarious.
Yeah.
I appreciate that in my
or
musicians.
like it's almost like the humor is from it's just like so obvious, or like so like, man, are people like really saying that to each other?
Yeah, it's sort of like you're in on the joke or something, like I don't know.
Yeah,
but I like that. I mean, I'm sure there are ones. I was thinking of Tom Petty, but I can't think of a specific. But yeah, I just like the.
Well, what was it? What did other than like the simple fact of like the songs about people like getting out of town are like easy, because I think like a lot, no matter the circumstances, a lot of people are like, I'm sick of this fucking place. I need to leave. Tired of this town. Yeah. Yep, for sure. Did you feel like a very real motivation because of that music, or? I mean, I think the motivation came from a whole different bunch of places, but yeah, I mean, I think the music had an effect on that. I know, like when I was leaving Boston, so the last year that I was there, that was like 5 years ago, I was so done. I was so just like, this. I've been here for 17 years. Like, oh shit, I didn't know you were there for that long. I know. And so he has the song, It's Time to Move On. Yeah. Which is just a beautiful song. And I would listen to that on my T ride from my town to my job. And the T ride was like 45 minutes or some banana thing. And I would listen to it on repeat because it was like inspiring to me. Like, it's time to move on, time to get going. What lies ahead? And I have no way of knowing,
that whole thing. And it kept me like going during that last year. And then I found a lovely version of it by a different band. And it's, let me see if I can find it.
Yeah.
Hold up. That's
a good one to bring up because that it has, I mean, that's such a simple song. And even like the lyrics of that song are super simple too.
Whoops. Sorry.
No, you can play it.
It's Hi-Ho Silver. Let's see if I can.
Ooh, it's like much.
It's different, but
slower.
Yeah. It's a long lead in, but.
Conscientious ejector, now her only protector. Broken skyline.
Yeah, this is great.
Isn't it beautiful? Yeah.
I think it also points to how good of a songwriter he was too, or like songwriters in general, where someone can make a cover of it and it doesn't really seem to shift anything that much, even if like the style of the like sonics of the song become totally different. Like that song is like the content of the lyrics, so you can really just like fit it to another
with it. Yeah.
music bed.
Right.
And it still resonates the same. And it seems like totally appropriate to like play it in that sort of style too, because it is this kind of it's like melancholy.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad, right? When you have to move on. Like,
yeah.
Not necessarily. I mean, there are wonderful things you're leaving behind, but things ahead.
And and like the original's got this like. To me, it's like got this like. Oh, we're sitting in the front of a pickup truck, like galloping down the road. No, and it's kind of
like it has like like a little bit of a
exactly. Exactly. It's got this like momentum.
Yeah,
this like forward momentum to it.
It's very different than that one. Like a little bit happier. Anyway, I listened to that every day for like a year, and that really did help me.
Really?
It did. It helped me get through.
As you were thinking of leaving Boston, or as you were like actively?
As I was thinking of leaving, I just kept thinking, like there's something. There's a reason that I need to get out of here. I need to move next step. So, literally every day I listened to it for a year.
and that's also I think his contribution, I guess, is that there's not, like some songwriters are just like, I don't know what this guy's talking about right now. It's like, it's just like all sort of clouded and like, I mean, I have really strong opinions about. I used to really love Bob Dylan.
Yep.
I have since taken like irrational stances against a lot of Bob Dylan.
and I can see it. I can see both sides of that.
But a lot of that and like so this sort of like contradicts what I said about like being sort of like a music guy first. But like lyrically I'm just like I have no idea what he's talking about most of the time.
Yeah.
It's just like
it's like obscure poetry.
Right.
Or something. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I guess he kind of was the poet. But
yeah, and but I think what makes Tom Petty like so not like he's simple as in like a negative,
like
but
hackneyed and
right. But I think why he like resonates so much is that he's like super economical with his songwriting, and he like the words that he does say are like immediately felt
Yeah.
by the person listening to it. It's like, like it's time to move on, it's time to get going. What lies ahead, I have no way of knowing. It's like, everybody.
Yeah. Everybody can feel that.
Yeah.
Everybody's been there. But then also just things like, I think part of this is like, what is the one? It's like breaking up a dog fight like a deer in a headlight, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and that totally makes you know what that feeling is.
Right.
Ugh, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Having like bared witness to many or like enough dog fights where I can be like, for like the first couple of seconds, I've been like, oh,
ooh, yeah,
shit, what do I do?
Yep. Yeah, totally. Breaking
Yeah.
up a dog fight. I mean, you immediately have a visceral reaction to
Right.
that. You're like, oh, yeah, I know that feeling. And I think that's it. His economy of words, it's just so specific
Yeah.
and really resonates with like the human experience.
Yeah.
Not to be that wildly deep. I mean, but
No, I think it's true.
yeah.
And okay, so I'm curious about so I bought Southern Accents on vinyl recently.
Yeah.
And like specifically because I wanted to listen to Don't Come Around Here on vinyl.
It's a great song.
And I haven't listened to the whole album all the way through that much, but I think I sort of like waffle between like what is like my favorite Tom Petty song, but I think like Don't Come Around Here is like maybe my favorite Tom Petty song, like reliably. And
It's really good. Yeah.
it's like part of it I'm like almost like embarrassed to say that because like some of it seems like super cheesy and he's like moving into the 80s and is like trying these different kind of like
Yeah.
corny like synthy sort of things. and,
So many bands did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or brought in the saxophone for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, don't know.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they all did that, but yes.
Yeah. So what this is like maybe way too specific of a question, but like, what's your opinion of that song?
Sing it. Which one is it? Say it again.
Don't Come Around Here.
Oh my God. Well, okay. I love it because, and again, because I come at it from the lyric point of view.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's about a relationship, about a horrible relationship where you've been trying to extricate yourself from it forever and you cannot get out of it. And that person keeps coming back. And you're like, finally, but for the love of God, leave me alone.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that's kind of cool because that has like this added. You just like added this, like, these extra layers of drama that like I didn't always add to the song when I was listening to it. Like I think I just sort of empathized or like identified with the like sort of like knuckle draggery like simplicity of it. Like, yeah, I would love to, I just like telling people off simply sometimes. And I just like the fact that most of the song lyrics are just like, don't come around here no more.
Whatever
Don't
you're
come
looking
around
for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've like never looked at like the lyric sheet for it, but I don't think there are like that many stanzas that are.
No, I think it's pretty basic. But yeah, no, there's something about, and right, so it's really repetitive when you think about the lyrics, but God, it's such a good song. What is it? What is it about it? I'm looking it up right now just so I can look at the lyrics because don't come around here no more. Here we go.
You can play it.
Can I? Okay. Let's see.
I also love drum machines like this.
Yeah.
They're cheesy, but I love them.
No, I mean, I do. I like this is very like,
And then the like fake
80s-ish.
sitar kind of thing.
Oh, and I like the yelling.
Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah.
You fucker.
Any group vocals in a song, I'm
Yeah.
usually like, this is a song
Dig it.
for me. Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
Anyway. And then it's just to come around.
Yeah.
to him. But yeah. No, you know what I think is funny is that your interpretation is just like telling somebody off, and I have this whole entire
Right.
story that I'm like, of course that's what the song is about. I mean, of course it's about some, oh my God. Don't come around here no more. Oh, good.
But
Anyway.
I think his music also has that, like, all the time, that it has this cinematic potential to it, where there's like,
Yeah.
you know, all this like space and like, you know, all this emotiveness from the music, and then like these lyrics that are usually like pretty concrete and like specific and detailed, and you know, usually about like a narrative of some kind. They're not just like abstract. It's like, you know, like a girl getting out of town or something like that, or like, you know, even you creating the story that it's about, like getting, you know, trying to pull yourself from a relationship and that's also like how music like this, you like people, you'll like attach it to whatever might be like happening. I'm not saying that was like specific to you for like something in your life at the time, but
I'm sure it
noticed-
was. I'm sure it was.
but for people, I do this all the time with music, where I'm like, this was like written for me for this particular
totally.
situation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting. Like, if you ever have had your heart broken, like suddenly every love song is like,
Yeah.
oh my God, it's for me.
Yeah.
You know, because
Like there's this newer band that I really love called Webbed Wing, and they have a song called "Bad for Me." And this is actually a band that has caused me to start paying attention to lyrics more. I think because like I identify with the lyrics so easily. But the first line to the song "Bad for Me" is, "I've been trying to be a person, but it's harder than it seems." And I'm just like,
I love that. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Truly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I think I do. I like the simplicity. I like that. I like the simple language that you can easily attach the human experience to.
Right.
You know, like,
Right.
yeah, man, fuck. I mean,
Yeah.
that's exactly how I've been feeling. And I could have said it myself maybe, but like, thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Sweet. Thanks, dude.
Thanks. It was fun.
All right. Thank you to Christy. Thanks, y'all, for listening to These Are My Friends this week. The podcast comes out every Monday. If you're interested in anything else I got going on, you can check out the original newsletter. That's at buttondown.email/here-to-listen. And then if you're local to the Brattleboro, Vermont area, you can tune into the Here to Listen radio show on 107.7 FM, or you can stream it everywhere on wvew.org. And the radio show airs 12 p.m. Eastern every Sunday. All right, catch y'all next week.